Hi all, I'm Xavier, back again. I'm a real estate agent with PropNext in this line for more than 11 years, almost 12 years. Alright, today's topic will be interesting. I'll be talking about Subsale and I will be recommending one of my top choices to you guys out there. A highly convicted product. It's especially important right now because there's not many options on the market. Alright, because we know the launches are coming into September, October, and I'll say mainly into 2025. So some of the remaining launches, there's limited units, the price also can be quite expensive. So Subsale is actually a very good category. I would say it's a hybrid between a resale property and a new launch property. It's that window of opportunity, I'll put that. You're not really buying from the developer, you're buying still from the first owner. That's why there's some resale similarities. But usually this happens, there's a short window whereby this happens after the first buyer's seller stamp duty has ended and just before they collect their keys when they TOPs. Okay, so that is that window. And it's very good when you analyze. Why? Because it's a hybrid. So why people buy resale? I think you must be thinking, okay, you need a place immediately, right? It's an immediate move in. That's a real own stay consideration. You don't want also to have renovation because some older resale properties, especially now renovation, is very expensive. I can't stress that even more. You know, developers, although sometimes we know they price in a new launch at a slightly higher PSF, but no matter what, they still enjoys that kind of economies of scale when they are doing a construction. All right, but when you're doing your unit per se, it's very easy to run into the 100 to 200,000 range for any units out there. Even I've heard BTOs already doing 80,000 easily, although everything it's quite new from HDB. Okay, so the other thing is, of course, you also enjoy being a new property with that defects liability period of 1 year, and this gives you really that peace of mind. Whatever things that spoil, you know, and that building concern, you know, sometimes it's about the building. You buy a slightly old building, I've heard certain stories whereby, you know, there can be, at any point of time, like it may not be the property that you buy, but at any point of time after that, there might be leakages, there might be damages. There's a more need to refresh the properties. Maybe some properties that do not have a sizable sinking fund, then this will be affected because they will start to collect more maintenance fee. But a new property per se, you know that you don't need so much maintenance at the start. And plus the fact that the developers is covering that first year defect liability, that's actually a good benefit. Then also you also got, I'll say, a good choice of units. Well, definitely you can't be as good as, you know, when you're buying new, and if let's say you've got a good ballot unit, you've got everything to choose from. But we do definitely for a subsale property, because a lot of owners, I mean, they have that perception that they're coming in, of course, with certain exit strategy. Maybe one of them is about selling the property, especially properties right now that TOP, subsale now, they actually bought it quite substantially lower just before COVID or during COVID period. So some of them may be selling and you've got a good pool of units to choose from. They are all, you know, they're all very similar in their condition. As compared to resale, it's very dependent on what unit comes out on the market. And the other big thing, of course, is the condition, because even if it's a side-by-side units of the same size, of the same layout, you know, the pricing that you go in is very dependent on the condition, on the renovation, how much you like it. Or it can be very nicely renovated, but it's not your liking. You still have to factor in hefty renovation. But the seller is pricing their own renovation in, and that is the only good unit available on the market. So it is very limited in terms of choice. So actually Subsale does help to allay that concern altogether. All right. And also for, again, in this current market, I'll say why Subsale it's quite good, because there are not many options on the market. That's a true fact. Okay, it's a very mature market right now. You say market drop, also never drop. You say market go up very high, also never go up very high. So the market is actually consistently selling at a steady pace, but seller has no real need to sell low. Even with the recent stock rout at time of recording, it's just a couple of days back, right? The fact that interest rates will be coming down even sooner, the Feds are pressed to reduce their rates even more, is actually beneficial for real estate and any real estate products out there, whether it's REITs or properties, because you can reprice at even lower rates. I just got updated, like one of the banks already offering below 2.8% fixed rates. So I think the pace for rates reduction will come faster and rates will come lower as the need for the Feds to cut, whether there is a correction or recession per se. So that's a good thing for real estate. Okay? Now, so talking so much about the pros of subsale, I think one main cons that people, especially coming from an investment point of view, it's as a second mover when I'm buying not from the developer, I'm buying from the first buyer that has already, enjoyed a certain gain. Can I still make money? I think this is a very valid concern. That's why I say it's a hybrid between resale and new. So resale and new. So resale, usually you come in with the expectation that, you can't really enjoy that strong capital appreciation as compared to new, because you're always buying at kind of like a peak at any point of time as compared to the first owner, second owner, or third owner, kind of things that bought maybe 10 years ago, right? So that is very valid. So the point now is when I'm selecting a subsale, when I'm evaluating as right now, when I'm doing it right now, I'm trying to solve this concern, right? So can I find a subsale that can still give me a certain capital appreciation the next 5 years to 8 years? But I'm not really looking at flipping 3-4 years. I already explained in my previous video about this expectation. And of course, you're also buying as a second buyer. You cannot expect that flipping 3 to 4 years as though you're buying a new launch kind of exit strategy. You must really factor in slightly a longer term. But is there still that room to grow? So that's the question which I will answer today. The product that I want to bring about that I'm highly convicted, it's key residences, and also to a certain extent, maybe you also want to evaluate FORET. So these two will be likely going to TOP very soon. I think we definitely within this year, and I think they do offer a good selection of units, and they are fantastic product which I'm going through. But over here, I'll talk more about key residences because I strongly believe in it. In fact, I have a few units for sale that if you find this useful, you can ask me for help. Or if you have friends, or even if you own key residences unit and you want to evaluate your options, do reach out to me. All right. So why do I think key residences is a very fantastic product in a subsale category? First up, of course, I'll talk about supply and demand. I talk a lot about this if you've been following my videos about the star matrix. So star matrix, the first things, of course, is the supply and demand, right? When I'm looking at the supply side of things, I mean, key residences at 600 over units at this kind of land size that's even bigger than so many government land size plots out there. There's limited competition. It's what I term it as the quality freehold / triple nine. Triple nine, I just take it as freehold because any triple nine in Singapore, they're all started from the 1800s. So you got at least 8 to 10 generations worth of people staying there if you keep it long term. So it's as good as freehold. So there's very limited competition. So it's probably just FORET and then key residences, right? The size of development is a quality build. I talk a lot about this. Why freehold? You want to choose something that's quality, and how you determine quality is the size of the development. Later I'll be going through that and the attributes of it altogether. This supply, it's right now the present, and when you look at into the future, I talk about the on-block pipeline being almost very limited to none. There might be some, but those are very mini plots, which of course they are not the quality, they're not the ideal ones. And if you look at the ones on the market right now, they're selling 2.8, 2.7. I talk about Arcady that is maybe around 2.6. That's why it's quite good to look at from new launch. But most of them are going way above that. And then the new upcoming one at Mayor Blue should be around the 3,000 range, right? So you have this already there are subsale transactions happening for key residences and even FORET. So key residences, you're doing maybe around 2,002 X 2002 plus average, 2002 plus PSF average. I mean, it is a no-brainer. It's to me, there's still a lot room of growth. I'll explain why the pricing is like that. So yeah, I got so much to share. Sorry if I'm going through like a bullet train, but you can always look at it at a slower pace, or you can just repeat this video. All right, so this is the supply. So there's very limited competition. If there's very limited competition, it only means that, even if demand stay constant or even drop a bit, I don't think it will even drop. So later I'll show you why the demand will go up also. So as long as the demand stay constant, the prices of key will definitely go up in the future. I think there's still room for growth. Okay. Next point in my start analysis, I talk about transformation. So I just show you this URA master plan over here. I think it encapsulates everything that we're going to talk about. There's a lot that I'm talking using the master plan per se. I'm trying to just keep it very short and sweet. I won't go very, very in-depth. So this is actually very objective from investment point of view. That's the whole idea of me evaluating. I mean, if you want something personalized, again, do reach out to me for that. Okay, so back now to this transformation. You look at where key residences is based on the location pinned down there in blue. that stretch over there. Now, when you look at this map, you will know that it's now zoned everything as pink, right? But pink, orange, or before that, these are all green area, and I circled that part. This is the red color one, the circled red color one, subject to detailed planning. All of these areas actually make up the Dover Forest. The Dover Forest has been in the news a couple of years ago because environmentalists want to protect it, a lot of wildlife, things like that. But the fact is, this area, they are all unused space, they're all prime space that would be redeveloped. So I think there's a consensus that's being reached. I think some part of it will be preserved as forest, although right now it's all pink. But eventually all of this will be residential. Why I love this? Okay, I think I explained this a lot. This is also now should be common knowledge among everyone. As long as there is BTOs, as long as there's developments over there, okay, especially HDB clusters, BTOs, it will bring up the area in this location because of the grants that's being pumped into the place, because of the infrastructure. And I circled that already, purple, which key residences we kind of front run the news because the line cuts through, and eventually it really turns out the one in purple, it's Maju Station. So it's literally just at the end of Brookville Drive, which is being built all the way out that connects to Clementi. And they don't build MRT for no reason, right? So it's definitely in the plans for this entire area to be redeveloped. Whether it's HDB, it will be good because of the grants that are being pumped in, and these are the hinterlands because eventually when all these people, MOP, they would also want to upgrade, sell, buy. They probably want to buy near this area. I mean, key residences is a good choice. I know these are all far-fetched plans, you might be thinking, even for the Cross Island Maju Camp that are circled in purple. But bear in mind, that's why I love key residences a lot. It is 999 years lease. However long it takes, it can take up to 10, 20 years, but doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my lease. But you see, the other crucial thing is that any development down there, even if it's government land sale or HDBs, all of these are government land. Okay, this will be 99 years. So it suddenly makes us a very differentiated product altogether, being a 999 freehold. Can you see that? So you still enjoy a very huge transformation with so many different exit points. Let me just talk a little bit of the MRT station, right? So MRT station, there's actually 3 points of recognition, I feel, in terms of value, right? First is the announcement. Actually, announcement definitely is the biggest wave because information in Singapore is readily available. It's very transparent. So, I mean, there's some upside being realized down there. But of course, the second point is when they start building. I don't see them really starting to build this yet. It's more of the road building if you are at Clementi Road. Right, and then the third one is, of course, the completion. Even completion, people are taking advantage of it. Like Thomson East Coast Line, especially owners, they'll be thinking, hey, it's already very convenient down there already because they are already realizing that convenience. So there's 3 points of recognition again: announcement, building, and completion. So there's still the building and completion that's not done yet for this Cross Island Maju Station, although the first wave has been done with the announcement. So there's still a lot of growth, there's a lot of exit for this area, together with all the big plans. You don't know where or what kind of plans they have for that. I mean, you've seen how Bukit Batok connected to Tengah has been turned into the biggest talk of the town after the Bidadari. Even Bidadari, I just quote you certain history as an example. Bidadari used to be forest, trees around, it's ex-cemetery, but once it's done up, and then Woodleigh Residences was done over there at over 2,000. People didn't even accept it over 2,000. Then the developer actually dropped the price. I don't have the chart here. You can reach out to me. I don't have so much time to put out everything. So I'm just explaining everything as we go on. Okay? And then what happened? The developer dropped a bit, but after that, you see the prices now are way above. The resale transactions are also way above 2,000 already. Because why? Because the HDB, the Bidadari town, it's prosperous, and any 4 rooms, I think there's very soon, in a few months' time, some of them will be reaching their MOP. They're easily $1 million. So it will be the same for this area. Okay, so talking about that purple circle, come back to that point. Okay, if you are familiar over there, just to give you some insider information. Okay, the traffic light, I asked the security over down there. The traffic light will be actually changed from the Maju Camp area, and it will be reinstalled in that new intersection of Brookville Drive and Clementi. So when you come up from Brookville Drive from key residences, it will turn left. You can turn left and you can turn right. Turn left, you can access all the way to PIE, to Bukit Timah. Turn right, of course, you can go AYE, Clementi, and the Commonwealth Avenue side. So it's a very convenient location. Okay, a point to note, if also you see to that detailed information on why the site for key residences is so good, because it's located inside of Brookview Drive, at the end of Brookview Drive. Any future construction, whether it's MRT or whether it's new buildings that's going to build at the forest just next to it, right? It won't be affected because the truck will not need to drive all the way inside. And if you're getting a unit down there, you know that there will be minimal noise as compared, to right now the heavy north-south corridor that's being built. Any buildings that's facing it, near it, there's of disruption and noise. At least for some time in the next 5-10 years, amongst all this transformation construction, it is still a very serene area in key residences. Okay, so that's for that. And at the top right, you see something that I circled in blue. Okay, that's something interesting because that will be the first few launches that's going to happen for in the Holland Plains area. So slowly and slowly, this place will be up to life. Although right now, yes, a lot of people don't believe at the start that key residences is good because it's ulu is a fact. But sometimes the more ulu is, the better it is. And I think it is slowly turning out to be a good product as everything starts to get more and more developed. The Holland Plains area, the third city area, trust me, the prices will not be cheap with everything going around. Later I'll show you. So this is for transformation. Sorry, talking a lot of transformation because transformation is something that will help you allay that concern that I talked about. Will it still make money in the long term? So I'm quite confident in this area and in key residences as a product. Okay, attributes. A key important point is taking a look at the site itself. It's very hard to visualize. I don't know how familiar you are with Key. If you have been to the show flat, that's great, but you can just visualize using this site, how big it is and the fact that everything is quite single loading. So you got views towards the landed, and these are the detached landed. These are one of the most expensive west landed areas because they are zoned as detached bungalows. Okay, easily upwards of 10 to 20 million. And then the north towards the Maju side, also a very undeveloped camp, but it will be there for some time. I heard from some of my army friends. So you got both views up and down, and they are all north-south orientation. And then it shares so many facilities down there, very nicely curated, dedicated space at different points, so it's very beautiful. Just imagine just standing down there, at the pool. There's one big lagoon pool, there's a 50-meter lap pool, and the 50-meter lap pool, you can see the width of that. So it's really, a lot of people can use at the same time. So really fantastic product. I don't see any freehold 999 like that. There's no neighbors. I'm not looking there. So I believe, even though this may not be a high rise, it will still be very windy. Can't fault with the layout. There's nothing to fault. In fact, I feel Hoi Hak in terms of layout. So far, no one has copied their storeroom concept. You can see their storeroom just at the side of their foyer, entrance foyer. This one, it's their own, very signature to Hoi Hak. And it's very good because the utility room that, let's say on the C6 layout on the left, right, there's a proper utility room. But let's say you use it for your helper. You'll be thinking, where do I store my other stuff? So at least they create a big store. This is not your normal DB. There's a DB on the right you can see just opposite the store. So this store, you can literally put a lot of stuff down there as a storage. So you can have a helper room and also as a storage room. And then when you look at the room size, it's great. I mean, even with a landscape living, you zip track your balcony, beautiful, and then the bedroom's big enough. And the master bedroom is one of the biggest also that I've seen for new launches in a while. So you can't fault with this. Easy to understand, squarish layout, very usable space. Even for the 980, this is a 3 compact, but you still got the store down there, and it's more of a conventional, that's kind of HDB style layout with a very sizable L-shaped, kitchen. So very good space, and you can see the master bedroom, they are done up already as a king size bed, and you still can put 2 side tables at the side. As long as they put it down there, they can't miswrap. So you take it that, this is a good indication of the space. Okay, so many things to say. I just highlight these two because these two of some of the units that I'm selling, if you're keen. This risk and reward, I put everything into one page. Okay, more details will be shared if you come to me directly. Okay, so this comparing the pricing in the last 6 months. Again, I highlight it's the last 6 months. That's why it's more relevant. In the last 6 months, because some subsale transactions has already happened for key residences and also for rent. I already rate bordered key residences up. You can look at the average pricing. It's around 22 plus, depending, because it may cover some of the high floor units that has a airspace, so you have to be very precise. But in general, you can see it is much lower, And I'm comparing with different segments on the market to know where are the potential it can go and also where is the maximum drawdown. I feel this one has very minimal drawdown and maximum potential. At 22 PSF, it's still slightly cheaper than Foret, okay, because the entry price is lower. If you just compare, okay, from the, let's say you compare with the TOP resale condos, there are two down there. These are all ranked in prices, so you just take note. There's two down there, I put down already, as Avenue South Residences and Normanton Park. This has already TOP rented out. I've rented out units down there. Good developments. I took these two also because they are not really near to the MRT station. And key eventually they will have, so it's even better. But these are quite, and the TOP probably in the last couple of years. And you can see even for a TOP resale projects with the same attributes, also a big development, they are already trading also at the same price. But these two are 999 years. Key Residences is 999. Can you see the value down there? So with all the transformation that I talked about, I mean, what is the maximum downside when already a resale property with the same attributes in around that area are already transacting at the same price or even more, like Avenue South Residences? So there is still a lot of upside that I see. Okay, then the next segment that you want to compare with, of course, you compare with a new launch vicinity. So new launch vicinity, there's one that's upcoming, that's going to be launched in the next half of the year, but one that's selling right now is Pine Tree Hills, that is at the Mount Sinai area. Okay, more towards the Dover side, but it's literally just like across the other side. So it's a good comparison. But what they are transacting quite comfortably, consistently, although it's not a one-day sell kind of thing, but the prices have already well established around the 2005 mark. And again, this is 999 years. So Key Residences, this one if you compare, it's already $300 PSF cheaper. You can get the place immediate and everything new, 999. In fact, also I think maybe even slightly more facilities, right? Although Pine Tree Hill is beautiful, okay, beautiful. And then you still got the potential MRT station for Key Residences outside. So comparing with that, you already got big delta difference already. And then the next segment you want to compare with, of course, is to compare with the new launches. And these new launches are also 999, unless I indicate down there as freehold 999, which you can see in the chart below, right? Everything else will be 99 years. So you compare with the other new launches, whether it's as far as Lake Gardens in the west, which is a lot of news right now, 2001 PSF, or even Jayden. Okay, Jayden, to be fair, it's integrated. The entire place is transforming as a second CBD, that's fine. But it's still at 2.5. Grand Diamond next to MRT Hawker Center, also fine, but it's also 2.5. Actually, this 2.5 no more already. You can look right now, all the prices are easily above 2.6, 2.7 already. And then you also got Tembusu Grand 2.6, 2.7. So, I mean, you're getting a price right now. You can get any subsale at 2.2 to 2.3. I think it is a no-brainer for Key Residences. No-brainer altogether. And of course, lastly, the segment is where the maximum potential is, if you compare lastly with the new launch freehold 999 Terra Hills Continuum at the first two chart now there, they are transacting already at 2.8, and with the upcoming Mayor Blue 2.2 to 2.8 to 3,000, you still got another 600 to 800 PSF of growth to realize with all the transformation in mind. So these are different exit point. And already, because we know for sure people are already willing to pay that kind of 3,000 to 8 PSF for a freehold, this kind of scale condo. I know there are certain differences, but I don't think it's so big per se. Yes, there's some cons, like right now it's a bit ulu, there's no schools, but I believe that the pros outweigh the cons. Okay, so this is something fast. I hope you get where I'm coming from. And lastly, just to compare between Foret, these are two good choices again. I think personally, for me, because 999 freehold, you still can realize the gain because in their 2.2 to 2.3, but purely from the fact that I like the site of Key. There's a lot of transformation happening more, and the facing for Key, they're all having unblocked good views as compared to Foret. Maybe they're facing each other, but these are both very good. Why Key Residences is pricing slightly lower in the subsale market right now? It's already transacted because they were launched cheaper at below 1,008 per square foot as compared to Foret, which launched nearer to the 2,000 per square foot. Therefore, maybe there's some room still being a bit cheaper. And at the same time, Key Residences, the sizes are bigger size format as compared to Foret, which has very small units. They try to compact everything. So it's a bit different product. I think both are good, but definitely good to look at both. And of course, Key Residences. So I hope you've enjoyed my sharing. And if you really like it, do subscribe for more. And of course, do contact me for, a more personalized guide. All right. Thanks. And I will see you for the next one.